What up, YouTube? So today's going to be part 5 of the Toyota MR2 Spyder K24 build. If you haven't been watching, we're basically doing a JDM K24 TSX with the 02 to 04 RSX Type S transmission. We got innovative mounts. We're using 0506 ECU wiring. So I'm basically going over that right now and how to get this thing started. So what we got right now, in order to get this thing started, first thing is we're gonna ground it. So we're gonna use the factory ground right here. This is just the stock one that came from the transmission of the other 1ZZ engine, so it works perfect, no problems. And then we're gonna add a ground to the intake manifold, and then we're gonna add a ground to the side cover, and that should give us the good 3 grounds that we need. And we already have our harness grounded right here, so that would be the 4th ground. We also need to do our fuel, so we just need to connect our fuel line from here to the stock one, and we should be good on that. We're gonna have to cut this hose, and then I got the little kit to combine them, a little coupler, so we can shorten it. And then everything else is pretty much connected. I just gotta put the clamps on it as far as the hoses. As far as the bottom hose, we'll be using the stock one as well. We'll just be cutting to fit on that one. Other than that, to start it, I kind of did the wiring on the last video, so you want to start checking that out from the previous video. So right here we have our starter signal, we have our battery and alternator source power. So the alternator source power is gonna go into this fuse box right here, and so I'm just gonna get a extension and a clamp, and we'll extend that to right here. The starter one is just gonna go straight to the actual battery, straight power. And then we have this starter signal wire, and if you look at the last video, I'll show you the wire that has to go to it. So this is the plug that we did from the last wiring video. So this is our ground, this is our starter signal, and then this was our ECU ignition power. And so after I connect that, we should be able to get the starter signal from the actual key. And then all we have to do after that is I think we have to put some oil in here, and we might be able to get it to start up. After that, maybe we can throw on the subframe, and hopefully the axles come in today. I'm not sure if they are, but they said they might be here today or tomorrow, so if they come in, we'll probably install those as well. But anyways, this video is basically all about getting this car started. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and ground the transmission, ground the side cover, ground the intake manifold, and then we'll run the starter signal wire and get the battery over here and start running the extension for the alternator wire and get the starter wire connected with the power, which I believe is going to be this wire right here. So just got to find the little terminal and connect that. But yeah, other than that, that'll be it. So let's go ahead and knock that out, and then we'll come back. All right, so we're back. Now I can show you what we did so far. So I went ahead and I attached my ground over here to the side cover. I got my ground here for the intake manifold, and then I have my ground on my transmission. And then I went ahead and I attached the starter wire to the starter, and then we have our alternator wire installed as well. So we still have a little bit more wiring to do, but I just wanted to show you that the car can actually now crank over with the starter. And I also installed my starter signal wire, which is, let's see, I believe the white center one and the white one. So that wire that I connected from the outside is now connected in. And so this is not a start attempt. This is just to make sure that the starter is actually connected properly. Cool. All right, so now that that is ready, we can start going for the rest of the wiring. So right now I gotta go ahead and take the battery back off, and then there's a wire that I'm gonna start showing you guys that you have to disconnect and connect to another wire, or it'll actually fry the ECU. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out the diagram that they came with, and we'll start going over that so we can maybe get this car started today. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and go get the wiring diagram, and then I'll show you guys what wire we have to cut and reattach to, and then I'm gonna show you guys the conversion to get the temperature working, the speedo, battery light, and I forgot. We'll go over that right now actually. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that so we can show you guys how to get the gauge cluster to work, and we'll go ahead and attach the ECU as well. And also we need to do is put the fuel line, and I think we can get this thing to start. So we'll go ahead and do that real fast and we'll come back. First startup, K24 MR2. Back and we know the car runs and everything. I just kind of wanted to go over a couple things. The wire that I might have showed earlier, I don't know if I did, but I had attached it from right here and attached it to the black and yellow wire. It was actually the other side of the wire that I was actually supposed to cut, so I actually cut this side and tapped it into the yellow black one because I did pop a fuse. And then I want to show you the other wires that I'm mistaken for grounds, in case you guys are wiring it by yourself. So I believe, let's see, I believe I said this was a ground, this side, and then I said this one's a ground as well, and they're actually powers. I kind of had made a mistake on that. So instead of grounding those, you want to power those. And other than that, this is the conversion harness I use since we are using 0506. And then right now I already installed the rear subframe and the rear mount. One thing I did have to do is I did have to disconnect that mount and this mount over here. You really want to put the rear mount in first. That's even on EGs, EKs, any kind of K-series swap. You kind of want to put the rear mount on, and then this side and then this side, so left to right. Other than that, we're pretty much almost ready to go. I got my axles in, so we should be installing those next video, and then I'll show you guys the shift linkage. We're gonna do our coolant hoses, get all that tightened up, wrap up all the wiring, and hopefully the next video we can take this car for a test drive. I'm still waiting for the intake as well, and we got to do our throttle cable bracket somehow. So still got to do a couple more things. Still got our brake booster hose, and then we already did our fuel line, so that's ready to go. Other than that, I mean, I think we're basically going to be ready next video to drive this car, so stay tuned for that. If you haven't, like, share, subscribe, comment, let me know what you guys think, and see you guys next time.